Hello, this is Dorothy Smith. I'm a close to my heart independent consultant, and today I'm showing you one of our kits from the last month of our catalog called 'Tis the Season. So of course we're at Christmas time now, and this is, I'm highlighting one of our digital cartridges called Seasons of Joy. So the Tidings of Joy and the holly wreath there are from the Seasons of Joy digital Cricut cartridge. And it should be available for a while, but this kit will not be available after December 31st. So that's when we get our new catalog starting January 1st. But this, right now, this is available, and the information will be below the video. So I decided to put a large 4x6 picture as the standalone on the first page there, and to make it stand out I put a gold foil background cut in 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, and the red will be essentially the 4x6 photo. So I'll probably cut my photo a little bit smaller to have the red stick out. Had a little bit of extraneous Tombow on there, and I'm using the glue remover, which is like an eraser that we have in our tools section. And I accidentally marred the paper when I was putting the holly wreath down, and so, you know, in my world, embellishments are to cover my mistakes. So that's what I'm using. Some of the poinsettias that come with they're called complements. They come with the kit. So you get usually 2 complements along with instructions on how to make pages. This is a made-up page, so this instruction isn't in there. But these pictures are 3x4, and these are 3x3. And this was also a cut from the Cricut Seasons of Joy, and it's a stack of presents that comes open, and so I took some pieces of paper and some zip strips off the paper and glued it behind there to make it look like presents. This is also something that comes in each of our kits, and those are Picture My Life cards. That's a 3x4, and the other size that we get is 4x6, and you get 2 each. So you get a 12x12 sheet that has 2 each of the designs, and they can either go vertical or horizontal. So it's great for picking out, you know, which way does it need to go, horizontally or vertically. So I really like this little card. I think it's so pretty with that little poinsettia in there. It kind of matches my poinsettia mistakes over there on the other side. So I knew it made some rhyme or reason. So that's going to be my journaling card, and I've got some more Tombow that got on there that, you know, it just magically disappears with that eraser. So I'm going to show you down at the bottom. I took our shimmer tape, the gold shimmer tape that I dressed on the bottom, and I cut it in half because I didn't want the full width, and I also didn't want the full, that's also a zip strip on the left-hand page. And I cut it in half. So what I'm doing is I'm taking a little piece of the backing of the shimmer trim off and cutting it off. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other end. And that way I can kind of tack it in place while I'm making a cut. Because if I freehanded it, it would not be attractive. It would not be straight. And so this is what I'm doing to just give just a little bit of the shimmer trim down at the bottom. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to center the shimmer trim in between, well, directly over the cutting groove and in between the 2 lines that are equidistant from the cutting groove. So I'm kind of tacking it in place with the, you know, where I took the protective plastic coating off. So then I get a nice straight cut with just a, you know, small little piece. I mean, that stuff is so sparkly that you really don't need a whole lot of it. And this is a zip strip that I cut from one of the papers, actually this particular paper that I'm using. And I am going to tack it in place because I'm also going to cut it in half. And I'm going to tack it in place with some washi tape. So I'm going to tack the top and the bottom with the same idea. It's going directly over the cutting groove and getting centered in between the two lines that are on either side of the cutting groove. And then that way it's not wide enough to hold it in place. So there you go. There's my first piece, and here's my second piece. So cut evenly and, without any sweat. And now I've got a nice straight piece to go across the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and so I kind of reversed the idea. So I put the New England ivy background on the outside with the gold foil on the inside. So I'll cut my 3x4 picture just a little bit smaller so it will fit with a little bit of the gold showing through. So I think that's going to look really nice. The gold adds a lot of warmth to the Christmas morning pictures. So there I've got those two cut, and I've got the journaling set to go. And there's my stack of presents. And there's my 3x3. Now this is not a very complicated layout. So that, the pictures of the star, the presents are the star of the day. It's, getting things for your loved ones and watching their facial expressions. So it doesn't have to be a real super elaborate, highly detailed layout. So this is my version. I'm kind of making it look glitzy by using the gold paper. Now this is a pre-printed page, and so those boughs of evergreens with the bows, those are printed on the page, and so I'm already using a decorated page. And so now I'm just going to line up my photos, and I'm trying to figure out, because I'm doing this on the fly. So let me put my other zip strip in place. So I'm kind of making it up. I kind of knew what size pictures I wanted, but I'm kind of making up the layout as I go along. So you kind of have to bear with me here. It's much faster if you go by instructions, but this was a page where I needed to force my hand to use my Cricut Explorer Air 2 and to use this digital cartridge. This is one of the cartridges that I got that is not a physical cartridge, so I really had to force my hand. I'm very tentative about doing new things, and so I have to say I had a little bit of anxiety of using my Explorer Air 2 by myself for the first time. So this was me forcing my hand and making myself learn how to use the Explorer Air 2 and be comfortable with it. And I have to tell you, now I love it. And all it took was getting that holly wreath cut. Totally sold me. So the Cricut Design Space is not hard software to use. Once you realize you need to look over in the lower right-hand corner instead of the upper left-hand corner where it says Insert Images, that's what kind of held me, because I couldn't find how to get the image onto the layout page. And I'm sorry, I got out of view here when I zoomed my GoPro in, so you can't see the bottom of the page. But once I got that holly wreath cut, I'm all about, it just seems so much simpler to be able to look through all of my cartridges online instead of having to go and get the book out and flip through all the books and try to find, the particular Cricut cut that I want. So here's essentially the layout, and I'm going to add, because there's bows going along the top, I'm going to use some bows because that blank space in the middle is just kind of crying for something. It just needs a little something. And so I bought a Bow Easy from a young woman who lives in Philadelphia or Pennsylvania, someplace in Pennsylvania. And she sells these Bow Easies. You shouldn't pay any more than $5 or a little over $5 for a Bow Easy. I actually saw one for $14.95, and it's like, oh no. It's a piece of plastic, and you can make a variety of size bows with it, and they all come out pretty consistent looking. So I could make all the same size bow. Now, if I tried to do that by hand, I can tell you the bows would not be the same size. So I really like this little Bow Easy. Unfortunately, Close to My Heart doesn't sell it, but maybe I should put a suggestion in for them selling it. Anyway, I'm adding some of our Close to My Heart ruby red glitter sparkles. They're not just sparkles, they have glitter in them, so they're extra sparkly. And I just want a little glitzy element down at the lower right-hand corner, and I usually repeat that pattern up on the upper left-hand corner. So I'll add some more of those little glitzy things. I wish I had some bigger ones, but I think I used them all up. So when you have nothing to do, you can sit there with your Bow Easy and make bows, which is, what I did here. And so now I'll have my little bow box, and I'll be able to go and just grab some bows. You can even make multiple loops on your bows if you want to. So the pearls that I used are just white pearls, but there aren't white. I don't think there are white holly berries. So I took my shin hand marker, the wide tip, and I colored them. And so they actually color very easy. You can also color clear gems with your shin hand markers, and they actually hold the color. It doesn't beat up like maybe some of the other markers would. And so this way, with your shin hand markers, you can pretty much go along with your color scheme of whatever kit you're doing, and you can make pearls or gems, probably even ribbon. I think if you had white shimmer trim, you could probably color it also. Anyway, so that was kind of fun for me since I didn't have any large red gems to make for the holly berries. That's all I could come up with. Now, this glue is in a different bottle than usual. I got this special bottle that's not supposed to clog. And the glue is our liquid glass, which I love the liquid glass. You can actually, if you can get the glue to come out, which I'm having trouble with, you can actually make large round blobs of glue and let them harden, and they'll become clear, like a rounded gem almost. So the liquid glass is really fun to play with, and it's a very tough glue. So once you glue something down with the liquid glass, it takes about 15 or 20 minutes to dry. And if you want to pull it up, you're going to be pulling up all your paper. So I've decided to just use the little thing that's supposed to keep that bottle from clogging up, to put little blobs on there to put my bows down. But I'm going to have to get a really long needle and try to figure out what happened and how it got clogged up. So anyway, I'm just putting some little blobs in place to put my bows over there, and they won't move. So it's a little awkward to put Tombow, and Tombow doesn't work very well on ribbon. So the liquid glass is going to hold those little bows in place from here on out. And the bows with that Bow Easy actually have a front and a back. And so you can see the tied part, and then just the loop over is the front. And so you actually want to make sure that you're putting the bow on correctly, so it's got the nice smooth rounded part in the front. And the girl actually has a little video and a little how-to instruction sheet on how to make these bows. It's really simple, and I thought it was going to be pretty complicated because I've tried to teach myself to do bows in the past, and I've watched videos of them, of making bows, and this is just such a no-brainer. I love it. So there's my little element to match my lower right-hand corner, and my bow is being kind of wonky. So that one tail just isn't behaving. So I'm gonna pick out another bow to put in place of the other one and try to figure out how to get that other bow to have its little tails hanging down the way they're supposed to. So anyway, and you can make more than one loop. You can make several loops on your bows. There, that one's better. Okay, so there's my layout. So I'm pretty happy with that, and like I said, it was not in the instructions, and I just decided to put it together myself and use our Seasons of Joy digital cartridge and our 'Tis the Season Workshops Your Way paper package. Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching my video. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and visit my blog at dotscrapbooking.com.